Okay, halacha vav. Shalosh oroshein. There are three types of skin that we use for writing. Gvil v'klaf v'duchsustos. Ketzad, how is that? What are these three? Lokchin or behema uchaya. We take the skin of an animal or a wild animal, like a deer. Ma'avirin hase'ar mimenu tchila. First we take off the hair. And then we salt it with salt. And then we work it with flour. And then with gall and the like. From things that will squeeze the skin, will make the skin contract. Also and strengthen it. And at that part of the process, it's called gvil. The zayin. Okay, so that's halacha vav. In the Kesef Mishna, vav shalosh orosein v'chulu. There's three types of skin. Yesh girsaos mechulafos b'lashon rabbeinu. There's different girsas in the language of the Rambam. Yesh korsen zeh achelek shemimul hase'ar nekra klaf. There are those that say that this part that is that's by the hair, that's called klaf. And this part that's by the flesh, that's what's called duchsustos. And that explanation, that the part by the hair is the klaf, and the part by the flesh is the duchsustos. So that's from the Aruch, in the name of Rabbi Binu Hai Gaon. And there are those that learn in the language of the Rambam the opposite. That this part of the skin that's opposite that's by the hair, that's called duchsustos. And this that's opposite the flesh, that's called klaf. So what's klaf and what's duchsustos, whether it's by the hair or whether it's by the flesh, depends on the opinion. Because of Aranzal, so the Ran writes, this is the for halacha vav, but he doesn't describe, the Rambam doesn't describe these two parts until halacha zayin. So let's read halacha zayin. It says, V'im lakchu ha'or achar she'aviru se'ar, that if you take the skin after you take off the hair, v'chilko so be'ovio, and you divide it in its width, l'shnaim to two, kamo she'havdanin osin, like the people who work with skins do, ad she'iyu shnei oros, until you have two separate skins. So here are the two skins that we're talking about, the klaf or the duchsustos. Which one is which? Echadak hu shemimul hase'ar, the one that's thin, that's by the hair. Echad aveh hu shemimul habasar, and one is thicker, and that is the one that's by the flesh. Avdu b'melach, and you work it with salt. V'achkach b'kemach, and again afterwards with flour. V'achkach b'afatzo kiyotzo, and then with gall and the like. And this is the part that the Kesef Mishna is referring to. This part that's opposite the hair is called klaf. And this that is opposite the flesh, that's called uksustos. Again, this is the opinion of the Aruch, that the duchsustus is by the flesh and the klaf is by the hair, the part that's attached to the hair. He doesn't mention it here, but both of these are, we're writing l'chu'ora on the inside. So not on the side of the hair itself on the klaf, but on the inside of it, and not on the flesh of the flesh part, but on the inside, closer to the skin. That would be the duchsustus or the klaf, depending on the opinion. Okay, back in the Kesef Mishna, because of Aranzal, so Rabbeinu Nisim writes, B'Shabbos Perekamutzi Shezeh Das Rabbeinu. The Ran writes that this is the opinion of the Rambam. So, if so, he is gores differently in the Rambam. We just read in our edition of the Rambam that the part that's opposite the hair is called klaf, and the part that's opposite the flesh is called duchsustos. But the Ran writes that the Rambam holds that the part that's next to the hair is called duchsustos, and the part that's next to the flesh is called klaf. Fugam kin das Haranban zal, and this is also the opinion of the Ramban. V'zehi nusachas Rabbeinu me'ein safek, and this is certainly the actual girsa of the Rambam. Kimuvur b'tishuvaso l'chochmei Lunel, as we see, he has a tshuva to the Chachamim in France, in Lunel. She'echtov b'perek gimel be'ezos Hashem, that we will write in perek gimel, with the help of Hashem. V'kachi girsas harav Rabbeinu Manoach, and also the Rav Manoach writes that that's the girsa of the Rambam. But it's possible that afterwards the Rambam went back on this opinion because of Kamoshe Kasu B'Sfarim Shalanu, and he afterwards wrote as we have it in our books. Shu Kedas Rova Poskim, that's the opinion of most of the Poskim. V'dash Das Rabbeinu the Afal Gav the Mashma B'Gemara, and you should know that the opinion of the Rambam, even though that implies in the Gemara the Chol the Lo Afitz V'Lo or Mikri, that that is if you haven't put it in Gaul yet, it's not. It's still called or. That's the name of it. V'Lo Gvil, and it hasn't gotten yet the name Gvil. V'Lo Klaf or Klaf. Ve'inu kasher l'sefer Torah v'lo l'tefillin u'mezuzos, and as is without the afatzim, without the gall, you can't use it for tefillin u'mezuzos or sefer Torah. Lav davka afitz, that it doesn't necessarily obligate it to have the gall. The ibud sid shelanu hi ibud afatzim. That the way we work it with lime is the same as working it with the gall. As the Tosfos brings in the name of Rabbeinu Tam, that working with lime has the same halacha, the same category as the afatzim. And this is why the Rambam writes, and afterwards with the gall and the like, from those things that will contract the skin and strengthen it. So the Rambam himself says that things that are like this are also kosher. Halacha ches. Halacha lamosh misinai, she'iyu kosvin sefer Torah ala gvil. So it's halacha lamosh misinai that you have to write the sefer Torah on the gvil. V'kosvin b'makom hase'ar, and you write it on the side of the hair. So before it's divided, you have the flesh side and the hair side, and you write it on the hair side if you're doing that. And you should write tefillin on klaf. whatever that means, either when you divide it, either the flesh side or the hair part, the hair side of that division. Again, on the inside of the part, where those two parts are attached. Because you write, the Rambam says this clearly, you write on the cloth on the side of the flesh. So if the Rambam holds that the cloth is the part that's flesh, so perhaps you would write not only on the flesh side of that division, but on the flesh side of the flesh side, the flesh part of the flesh division, and not the inner side that's closer to the hair. That you should write the mezuzah on duchsustos, and you would write it on the side that's closer to the hair. So if duchsustos is the side of, if duchsustos is the basar side, then you would write it on the inside of the flesh, that side that's closer to the skin. And if the duchsustos is and when it's divided, the side that's closer to the skin, then just like the gvil, you would write the mezuzah on the actual part where the hair grows. Okay, and anyone who writes on cloth in the place of the hair, or if you write kfil and duchsustos on the place of the flesh, puzzle. So that's no good. You have to write on the proper side. So this makes a big difference, a big nafkamina in the girsa of the Rambam lehalacha, whether or not we are yotzi our Sefer Torah, Tefillin, and Mezuzos according to each girsa. Okay, now let's do that inside of the Kesef Mishna. Ches halacha l'Moshe Sinai shiyu kosvim v'chulu. So it's halacha l'Moshe Sinai that you should write and so forth. Each one on the gvil and so forth. Braisa b'Shabbos perek hamotziyayin. So where do we learn this from? This is from a braisa in Gemara Shabbos, Motziyayin, Daf Ayin Tes Amud Beis, Ubeperek Kometz Menachos Lamed Beis, Halach l'Moshe Sinai. That it says there, Halach l'Moshe Sinai, Tefillin al haklaf. That tefillin is written on klaf. Mezuzah al haduchsustos, and mezuzah on duchsustos. Klaf b'makom basar, and klaf is on the side of the flesh. Duchsustos b'makom se'ar, and duchsustos is on the place of the hair. So that's the Halach l'Moshe Sinai. Exactly how to define klaf and duchsustos, we've seen, is not so clear. V'od hasam tana debei menashe. And further there, the house of Menashe learned kasval haniyar valamatlis psula. If you write it on paper or on cloth, it's pasul. Al haklaf al gvil vala duchsustos kshera. But if you write it on cloth, gvil or duchsustos, it's kosher. V'ukmo b'sefer Torah, and this was established that it's referring to Sefer Torah, that any of these are kosher for a Sefer Torah, according to Tana B'Debei Menashe. V'od Tanya, and further we've learned, Shina b'zeh b'zeh psula, that if you changed one to the other, it's pasul. U'pirshu b'Gemara, and the Gemara explains this l'chadu ukimta according to one a way of establishing it. Shina b'zeh b'zeh. That what does it mean if you change this or that? Hainu shekasav al klaf b'makom se'ar. That is the way the Rambam describes that. If you write on the klaf, on the place of the hair, not on the place of the basar, or ala duchsustus b'makom basar, or on the duchsustus in the place of the flesh. So that's how one ukimta, one way of establishing that Gemara describes that memra of shino bezeh ubizeh. Varosh behilchos sefer Torah, pascal lehahi de Tana de Beri Menashe. And the Rosh, in Hilchos Sefer Torah, he paskins according to that Tana de Beri Menashe. So it has to be, you can't switch the place of the writing of the klaf or the duchsustos. The klaf has to be on the makom basar, and the duchsustos has to be on makom se'ar. Because of Aranzal, and the Ran writes, Beperek HaMotziyayin, the mitzvah menumuvcha Sefer Torah begvil, that the best way to write a Sefer Torah is on gvil. Meda'amrin begitten daf nun daled gvilim shebo lo avadatim lishman. That because it says in Gemara Gittin about a Sefer Torah, that the gvilim of the Sefer Torah, you didn't work them lishma. So I guess that implies that it's written on gvil. And this is like we say in Baba Basra about the Sefer Torah that Moshe made. The Akshinan Bitrei Pushri Hechi Yasiv. I'm not sure what Trei Pushri is. Hechi Yasiv, how does it sit? Mishum de Mashmalan de Shel Gvil Haya, because it implies there that it was made from gvil. Ishel klaf, my kashale. That if it was made out of klaf, why would it be a question for him? You can take off the that if it was on klaf, you can gorer it and establish it the way it's supposed to be. I guess with gvil you can't do that. So since however you explain that proof, that it's referring to Moshe Rabbeinu's Sefer Torah is on gvil, so that's what the mitzvah min hamuvcha Sefer Torah is, and Rabbeinu Chananel writes that as well. Umikol makom b'di'evid kasher af ala klaf, but nonetheless, a Sefer Torah b'di'evid is also kosher on klaf ala duchsustos. Rambam Kesef ala duchsustos puzzle, but the Rambam writes not like this Tana de Beri Menashe that permits it on duchsustos, but rather that duchsustos for Sefer Torah is puzzle. V'lo nihira. And I guess the Ran writes this, that this doesn't make sense. Why would the Rambam be cholik on the Tana de Beri Menashe that permits Sefer Torah and duchsustos? Now this point, they left already. Now this that it writes, that gvil is on the place of this that it writes that gvil is on the place of hair specifically. Perakama de Masechet Sofrim v'Yushalmi Perakama de Megillah Tzarich Lichtov ala gvil b'makom sa'ar. It says this clearly that the gvil you have to write on the side of the hair. The Mishna puzzle, and if you do not do that, it's puzzle.